Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
It looks like a major step is being taken backwards when it comes to Palestinian reconciliation. The Palestinians have just agreed to postpone Hamas's handover of the Gaza Strip to the Palestinian Authority less than 48 hours before a key deadline in their deal. The landmark Palestinian Unity Plan is faltering dangerously, with both Fatah and Hamas accusing each other of not respecting the accord, an accord which is being brokered by Egypt. Originally, Hamas was supposed to transfer all governing duties in Gaza to Fatah on December 1st, and now Hamas and Fatah are asking Egypt to postpone the switch until December 10th. The reason? To quote, finalize arrangements to ensure the completion of national reconciliation steps, end quote, according to a statement from Hamas. Sharp disagreements remain between Hamas and Fatah, especially over the fate of public employees in Gaza and security control of the Strip, and the future of Hamas's powerful armed wing. Previous reconciliation attempts between the rival Palestinian factions have failed since Hamas seized control of the coastal enclave in 2007. For the first time in 22 years, an Israeli prime minister will attend an exclusive meeting of top-level European foreign diplomats. But officials from the EU aren't too happy about it because apparently Prime Minister Netanyahu snagged the invite by inviting himself to the event behind their backs. The guest list was originally supposed to be exclusively for EU foreign diplomats, but sources say Lithuania invited Netanyahu to the pre-meeting breakfast without anyone else knowing or agreeing, basically sneaking him into the exclusive gathering. The EU foreign diplomats are apparently so annoyed that they're planning on extending a similar invitation now to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, and they're pledging to present Netanyahu with nothing but, quote, tough questions about Israel's policies, end quote, in the Palestinian territories. The Palestinian issue will now also apparently be the top item of the day's discussion, but at least a few other EU lawmakers clearly aren't as upset. 60 members of European Parliament have actually just asked the EU to cut funding to groups that support the BDS boycott against Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu has had a complicated, if not difficult, relationship with several European nations over the years, which means the stakes are very high for this meeting with the foreign delegation, which will take place in just a few weeks' time. Israelis' hopes have been very high for President Trump to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem in the immediate future. Just yesterday, Vice President Pence announced Trump was actively working on making it happen, but 24 hours later, the White House appears to be backtracking. Trump's press secretary is now saying that the rumors of the move are, quote, premature. This dampens the expectations of many Israelis, including top Israeli officials. Reports say the government was bracing for the U.S. to officially recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital in mere days from now. But despite the vice president's words, that's looking like much less of a possibility. Moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem would likely be seen by the Palestinians as a disastrous blow to the peace process, although Israelis have long been pressuring the U.S. to do so. Every 6 months, the White House has to redeclare its position on the matter. We are less than a week away from that deadline, but in light of the press secretary's words that the White House has, quote, nothing to announce, it seems Israelis shouldn't get their hopes up. Israel has just launched a program to provide shuttle services to Gazan residents who need to travel to the American consulate in Jerusalem. Unfortunately, 2 Gazan participants have now disappeared in Israeli territory. As of now, the Israeli government only allows a small number of Gazans to travel through Israel due to security concerns, and those who do are usually passing through for medical care or other humanitarian needs. In fact, just recently, Israel had barred Gazans from entering the country for visa interviews at the U.S. consulate after some of the applicants fled into Israel or the West Bank to find work. Well, it looks like Israel is trying to find a solution for these residents, and today, about 100 Palestinians were allowed to travel to the consulate. But along the way, just as feared, 2 disappeared. The State Department requires Gazans to schedule appointments over 60 days in advance for visas, but the application process is tough, requiring an Israeli security check and sometimes even an interview with Israeli security personnel. In the past, Gazans were given full one-day permits to go to the consulate, and many would take advantage to visit the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem as well, but because of so many applicants choosing to hide along the way, Israel has now implemented this new program. Hopefully, though, the track record for disappearing acts will get better. The Giro d'Italia bike race is set to be the largest sporting event to ever be held in Israel, but it looks like there could be a major setback. Israeli officials are threatening to drop their partnership with the organizers of the prestigious cycling event after they referred to the start of the race as in West Jerusalem. The Italian race is set to begin on May 4th of 2018 and will take place in the western region of Jerusalem. This is the first time the race is starting outside of Europe, which is a major win for Israel. Organizers have tried to steer clear of politics in creating the route for the race, meaning that it won't go through any land that is considered disputed by the international community, like the West Bank and East Jerusalem. But it looks like they've made the first political mess-up through their use of West Jerusalem in the announcement of the routes. The Israel sports and tourism ministers are threatening to back out of the race, saying that, quote, "In Jerusalem there is no east or west. There is one unified Jerusalem, and that if that wording doesn't change, the Israeli government will not be a partner in the event."
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.